Kia ora everybody, it is Robett, and today's question is, how much time should you dedicate per week for your personal brand? This is very interesting, and the interesting thing about this is you can be very smart to add value and create structure around your content to create consistency without necessarily have to be there all the time having to do stuff. Now, what I mean by that is, if you've got a clear strategy of what you're trying to achieve on social media, if you know that there's certain types of content which you know which will add value, there is nothing wrong with you being able to actually preload and stack a whole bunch of content. If you could do 20 different tweets in one hit talking about, top 20 tips for getting ready for summer or whatever the thing is, you could then stage them out to 3 times a week, and that's 7 weeks of content done. You don't even need to worry about it. So the thing I'd actually be thinking about is when you're building these personal brands and thinking of the way that you're structuring it out, I would just think about how can you be smarter about the time so you don't become reactionary to like, oh shit, I haven't posted anything, oh, I need to go do something. What happens then is if you're rushing to do something like that, you'll just put stuff out the door and it actually usually won't be that good. You usually haven't really thought about it and it usually won't get the amount of traction. So if you've got the whole entire market of competitors or other people that are vying for the attention, and if 99% of them aren't actually being proactive to think about what they're creating, they're just rushing to do it to get it out the door because I've got to do a social media post, you will usually lose. The people who usually win are the ones that are stopping and thinking, okay, cool, now, where's a spot that I know is going to get a lot of talkability? Where's a bit that I can add some great value for? What type of format should that be in? Should it be in, photo, video, text, polls? What will get shareability and likability where there's going to be conversation going? How can we sort of stimulate more of that? Those 1% people that are actually thinking about the content first, then going and doing it, they usually win. And so my advice would be, think about, instead of knowing that you have to create content, great, everyone does, you actually do your personal brand a disservice if you rush stuff without thinking of the actual content, because then you just put out blah. And I'm looking from the outside, and if I see someone just like randomly out of the blue just puts 5 posts in one day and then nothing for 4 months and then 10 posts in 2 days, it's like you can kind of see the intention and also the kind of lack of execution, plus it actually kind of devalues that brand. When I see people that are constantly creating, constantly doing, constantly evolving, constantly moving, they become their own little snowball and they've got momentum. That momentum of ongoing consistency, that actually builds a personal brand, and it builds it in a more credible way, so it's more a known quantity that's going to be there for the long haul, not just someone who's like, yo, I'm into it, rushes around, does a bunch of stuff and then disappears. So if you do that, it actually does your brand a disservice instead of a service. Something to think about if you're moving forward. That is my 2 cents. If you've got a question for me, hit the link below, come through, more than happy to ask anything, answer anything about anything, but then hopefully this adds a little bit of value to you today. Have a good day, team. Peace.